amateur, Downs & Reeder has over 50 live-edge hardwood slabs, some over 4 feet wide, in species like cherry, walnut, and sycamore. For your next project, the woods of the world are at Downs & Reeder. Visit us at downsandreeder.com.
We are committed to making sure that we are providing service to our community.
The Boston chapter of the Links Incorporated. Linked in friendship, connected in service.
Rich in history and natural beauty, North Andover is a vibrant community with a small-town atmosphere. Just 30 minutes north of Boston, it feels further away because of a landscape that features 3,000 acres of preserved open space. From its quaint shops to its pristine Lake Kachikawick, there's plenty to do and see. Smolak Farms has been a mainstay in North Andover for 300 years. This family-friendly you-pick farm is bustling with orchards and activities all year round. Fall is their busiest season with hay rides, a petting zoo, 2 pumpkin patches, including one for the little ones, and of course, apples.
We have 30 acres of orchard here for you-pick. We've got all kinds of apples. We've got 60 varieties.
Michael Smolak owns the farm, which has been in his family for 90 years.
We're standing in our antique apple orchard, and there are 20 varieties of antique apples here that are not commonly grown. And what I have here is something called a sheep's nose. Anybody who knows a sheep can clearly see it looks just like a sheep's nose.
After picking apples, visitors can head over to Smolak's farm stand. There you can enjoy fresh farm-made lunches and yummy treats like pies, tea breads, fudge, candy apples, and their popular apple cider donuts.
I can't even tell you how many hundreds of thousands of those that we sell in the course of a year. We started the bakery in 1985. My sister's recipes were for the pies.
You might say a visit to Smolak Farms is a rite of passage in North Andover.
Not a day goes by without somebody saying that all my childhood memories are centered around here. I have photographs from the farm when we were kids, where my children were kids, where my grandchildren were kids. So I'd say it's extremely significant.
Down the road from Smolak is the charming Stevens-Coolidge Place. This lavish home and gardens set on 91 acres is a wonderful place to travel back in time. The historic landmark was originally owned by the Stevens family, one of the founding families of North Andover. 8 generations later, daughter Helen, along with her husband John Coolidge, transformed it into this elegant colonial revival country estate. The Coolidges were part of Boston's wealthy elite society. Diplomat John Gardner Coolidge was a descendant of Thomas Jefferson and Isabella Gardner. Shortly after he and Helen married, they built this summer home.
It was the place they could relax, entertain their friends in style, and it's really a wonderful collection. It's a very personal collection, an eclectic mix of things from their travels and their life together.
Susan Hill Dolan is the curator of the home, which is open to the public for special events.
So which room is this?
This was the library, which has a wonderful collection of Boston Federal furniture, as well as Chinese ceramics. And Mrs. Coolidge's mother's own Boston Chickering piano.
Wow.
Outside the home are 15 acres of beautiful botanical gardens that visitors can stroll through.
Helen Coolidge was on North Andover Garden Club. They were involved and they had a lot of ideas, and a lot of the ideas of the gardens were theirs from their travels.
Kevin Block, the estate superintendent, took me through the lavish gardens and extensive architecture. There's an annual and perennial garden, a lovely rose garden, and French potager garden inspired by the Coolidge's time in France.
We've historically preserved each garden to what it was. Our French potager garden, we found the original blueprint from 1931. We actually brought it back to the exact footprint of 1931.
The grounds are open from dawn to dusk daily, and there are special events like concerts, holiday events, an open curator tour, and craft making throughout the year. After a busy day, there's nothing like a good meal. In a barn? The Loft off Route 125 serves up delicious comfort food like steak, burgers, and seafood in a 200-year-old barn.
When you walk through the door into the bar downstairs, you're going to see remnants of what the barn or stable used to look like. The bar is actually in the middle where the hayloft was, where they dropped the hay in. And left and right, you'd see all the posts where the corrals would be.
Jim Dietz is the owner of the Loft. The barn was first built in 1868 and turned into a restaurant 110 years later. Jim took it over in the early 2000s, and careful attention was paid to retaining much of the original structure.
When I started to do the renovations here, I tried to bring everything back to how it was done back in the 1800s. Originally, this was a fieldstone foundation, and it still is. All post and beam construction, all pins, Morse and tendon joints. You can't build this today.
The Loft serves a range of food, from steakhouse and pub fare to comfort food with a twist, like caramel chicken and macaroni and cheese with lobster.
This building is kind of a landmark. The people in town love coming here. You know, you come in, you're going to get welcomed. There's going to be friendly people here. It's going to be a great experience for you. And people use the restaurant as they would their own dining room table at home.
Fun fact, all the metal in the loft was hand-forged by a local blacksmith using just a hammer and an anvil.
You don't see a local blacksmith that much anymore.
Not really.
Back to Stevens-Coolidge Place. A lot of events going on this month. They've got scavenger hunts for the kids. They've got actually make your own Thanksgiving. We're saying Thanksgiving. Centerpiece and all kinds of other fun things. So it's a good spot to stop by this month.
This is a great time to go because it's only open for these special events, and you can find a list on our website.
And we will be right back.